if we're not able to communicate transparency or clarity on, budget issues or processes, some things are bound to get messed up, right?
A former Richmond Finance Department employee sharing his concerns for the first time after thousands of rebate checks were issued incorrectly.
Just this week, we learned the Director of Revenue resigned. In tonight's Taking Action investigation, we're learning the city auditor will be looking into the city's rebate process. 8 News investigator Roland Wilson joins us live in studio. Roland, what have you learned besides the audit?
Well, Eric, Deanna, the city auditor tells me his office will be looking into several areas of this rebate process, making sure that the checks were accurately calculated, finding what caused this problem, and offering recommendations to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. All things a former employee tells me he hopes will improve transparency.
At the end of the day, we all pay the price if we're not able to confidently trust that our government is competent and consistent in what they're doing.
Increased transparency and organization. 2 things MB, a former finance department employee who did not wish to be fully identified, tells me the city could improve on. MB tells me he started working in the finance department in March. Soon after, we learned the city issued several thousand rebate checks with the wrong name. The city reassured Richmonders no personal taxpayer information was released, and they would work to cancel and reissue checks. It was then that MB became involved in the recently launched rebate program, tasked with checking the accuracy of the names and check amounts for the new checks.
I would say it was more disappointing just because, you wouldn't expect that from your government.
Soon after the mix-up, Jamie Atkinson, Director of Revenue at the time, released the following statement, saying, "I sincerely apologize for this mistake and understand the frustration it may cause for our residents." MB later resigned just over a month into the job. And after his experience, he tells me he left wondering whether there are additional issues like rebate calculations that haven't come to light.
Right. And all I was asking is if my math was wrong, just show me. But they weren't able to.
This week, we learned about 8,300 residents were initially impacted. Some rebate checks were sent to the wrong address. 156 checks were issued to non-existent addresses, and even correctly issued checks bounced. And just after 6 months on the job, Atkinson resigned. 8 News recently learning recommendations are on the way as the city auditor's office will be stepping in to review the department's work.
There's numerous opportunities to catch that mistake before those checks hit somebody's mailbox or their front door, right? So it's a shared effort. Everybody could have done something better just through communicating.
Now, if you received a stopped rebate check and were charged bank fees, you can be reimbursed. You can file for reimbursement using RVA 311 or by visiting RVA311.com.